Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Band Trading Cards. And we have a guest for today, and he is the creator of a new trading card game called Hyper Juken. And let's welcome Erik Gladding. Hi, Erik. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ben?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm so excited to know more about your game. And yeah, it's a trading card game. So I want to know more about the gameplay, the background, and how do you distribute this. So before we go to the TCG, I want to know more about your background. So can you tell us more about that
Do you mean my background in cards or in general?
in cards? Just the game. Yeah.
Okay, so when I was really little, about five, this is about 1993, I was into trading cards, NBA, uh, Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
We had this series here called Odd Bods that was pretty much, I'm pretty sure it's Australia exclusive. A lot of them had glow in the dark effects, was really cool. And I did a lot of that until Pokemon came out. And I think for a lot of people, that was their big TCG thing. I didn't even know what Magic was. I was too young. And from there, it gradually just became a process of going from with Pokemon. Then, do you remember the old Score Dragon Ball game?
I know the cartoons, but not the game.
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Masters. And it gradually became a process of being interested in collecting cards
Mm-hmm.
to playing cards. I went back to Pokemon after Duel Masters folded in the West, got actually really competitive at it. And then during Generation 4, I kind of got less interested because, I forget the fella's name. Are you aware of the Pokemon blog that talks about the older metas?
Uh, I'm not into Pokemon
Oh,
actually
okay.
because I'm into Magic the Gathering. Then now it's Flesh and Blood and other things because Pokemon for me is so vast that it's
Yeah.
difficult to keep up the story and the card itself and what set that is out in the market. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's difficult for me.
Yeah. So I really liked the Generation 3 era. When it switched over to 4, I was interested. I stopped playing card games for about a year then.
Mm-hmm.
I kept tabs on it. Wanted to pick up Kaijudo, the Duel Masters Revival. Didn't come out here. And then I kept hearing about this CFV thing. And then I found out what it was Vanguard.
Yep.
Became really heavy into that. And
Mm-hmm.
that was what started spurring me into being interested in how cards are designed and how they're actually set up and costed appropriately. You know how you say a lot of fan cards, they're very, I'm going to make it as broken as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting a deep interest in how you go from that type of mentality to actually making cards that would actually be played.
Mm-hmm.
And around the end of 16, I started wanting to go back to a lot of the games I enjoyed in the past and see how where they went wrong and how you could take the best attributes of them and
Mm-hmm.
make a game that was, for lack of a better term, well made. Where these games, when you research into a lot of these early 2000s, late 90s ones, were thrown together because of IPs and whatnot. And till the middle of, I played Force of Will a bit over the time in Magic, but I mostly just stuck to getting Hyper Juken into a place where, well, what became a Hyper Juken, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
because they had a different name originally, and getting it into a place where it's fun for the type of people that not only like these type of games but didn't like them. That was a big goal, to try to get friends that didn't want to play these types of games with me to actually play it and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And around 18, we hit that eureka moment. There was like 3 different versions of the game before that got completely scrapped. And from there, it's just basically been trying to find something that was affordable to produce.
Mm-hmm. So you have this kind of different game designs before this Hyperjuken, right? You
Yes.
said, and so
Since you're interested in Flesh and Blood, the third version was actually really close to it before Flesh and Blood came out.
okay, because
Except uh, in that game, it works very similar to how Hyper Juken Flesh and Blood. You know how cards can regularly be used as both an attack and to prevent damage.
Yes.
Unified combat stats, so work the same way. But the only difference was in my draft, you could only use one card, not multiple, like you can in Flesh and Blood.
Okay, because Flesh and Blood has like combination
Yeah,
cards that you can put out. Yeah, it depends on if you can pitch on it. Yeah. So you are in Australia right now, correct?
yes.
So do you have an office, or are you just doing it at home?
We're just doing it at home right now. It's very low to the ground. Everything is a matter of keeping costs down so it can be
Hmm.
sustainable on the lowest print runs.
Yeah, everybody starts with a small little table or office, like,
Mm.
you know, to just to work on your designs and everything. Yeah. So this is your probably you said you have three games before this Hyper Juken, so this is your fourth design,
Oh
right?
no, these were builds that got scrapped on the way to Hyperjuken.
Oh, okay. So why do you call it Hyper Juken? And what's the story behind this game? Like,
Okay, so
how did you come up with this game?
well, I, I have a lot of interest in fighting game card games. As I said, the old school Dragon Ball Z game,
Mm-hmm.
UFS, WWE Raw Deal. I did look into Flesh and Blood when it first came out. It's just not to my taste,
Mm-hmm.
which fair enough. Everyone has different tastes.
Yeah.
And as I said, there's a lot of people that just aren't into those types of games. They find them very off-putting versus a Magic type game,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably why you see so many games copy Duel Masters these days. Like I haven't looked into it myself yet because I've been so busy, but I think One Piece is very Duel Masters-esque too, like Bandai's other two games. And as I said, I just wanted to make a game that harnessed everything that people liked about the fighting game card games while being streamlined and approachable for newcomers and people that might find the other games very overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. And this is like a game that they fight in a ring, in
Yeah.
a arena, and they do their own, tricks and their actions. So we have El Eterno, Lucy, and Tai Chi.
Yeah.
So these are the are this considered main characters of the game?
Uh, it really depends on who gets popular as to who gets pushed more, but Lucy is intended to be a deuterologist with the main character of set 4.
So now there are three characters, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But we've
And
designed up to 21.
can you tell us about the stories of these three characters? A little bit of just a short story of each of the characters.
So Lucy is like a lot of people, she sees a lot of things in TV, movies,
Mm-hmm.
games, whatnot, and wants to be like that. She wants to copy it. And eventually she finds a passion in this and wants to show that she can do it in real life.
Mm-hmm.
All these cool moves. And that's how she ends up finding herself wanting to join this tournament. The tournament has its own story itself. Elatono is an established guy. He's been around for quite some time. Contract ending with his wrestling promotion. Offered this contract with Hyper Juken, joins up because it's something challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And Taichi is just sorry, I've got the decks next to me as well. Taichi is just determined to be the strongest and prove to everyone how good he is.
Mm-hmm. And how do you expand this game and or the characters? Like, are you going to concentrate on this human, not human, but the head is animal and then human. And do you have other characters after this? Like, do you have a plan on this one?
Each set until set 6 introduces 3 new characters.
Mm-hmm.
From there, it's with year 3, I should say, set 7 through 9 should probably be about the time when we start returning to old characters because ones that people will want back because they like them or they didn't get a chance to get them. You try to keep main characters in rotation and characters that people like, and we'll be intertwining that with new characters. So as it set up, sets 7 through 9 have 3 new characters and 6 returning characters, but the 6 returning are yet to be decided because it'll be decided depending on how people respond to them.
Yeah, how about, do you have like not just like an action card, maybe you have some pets or accessories that you can have, you can, throw. Are you planning to do that?
A lot of that might be covered by tactic cards,
Mm-hmm.
but
Tactic cards. Mm-hmm.
at the moment it's just trying to keep things simple for block 1. Set 2 does bring a new token card, which I know that if you actually watch the video on the sample cards I got, you've already seen the set 2 characters. I know you have from showing you them. D-Stinger the Wasp comes with a card called a Venom token. He comes with 4 of them as well, because he uses a mechanic called Envenom, which will be repeated quite a bit because a lot of animals are venomous, and you want to express that in design.
So what is Venom?
In this context, it works a bit like Poison in the Pokemon video games, where end of turn you take damage. Unlike normal debuffs in the game, it'll have a keyword that allows you to have 4 of them in play. Playtesting really loves the Venom tokens. So end of turn, your opponent takes 4 damage. You basically get them fully envenomed. You just wait for them to die.
So just like a poison or decay in other games. Yeah. So give us the idea around this game. How do you play this? Like, explain to us first, like the battle, the playmat, and some cards types.
Okay. So card types first.
Playmat first. The how do you see it? Like there's a battleground, then you have the deck, graveyard, or whatever you have.
Okay, so dead center is your corner, which has your fighter and the 2 card cards. So it'll be the normal fighter side. They can't really be touched by anything right now, though we're toying with ideas that might be able to turn the card face down to shut them off as a debuff type effect. So the middle is your corner. That's the stuff that your character, your ways to augment them. Behind that, you have your key pool, which is your resources. So in Hyper Juken, when you play attacks, you have to pay key equal to their level by sending that many cards from your key pool to your exhaust, which is your discard pile. When attacks resolve, unless they go somewhere else, like remove from game or stay in play, they come down to your key pool to be used as a resource. In the front, you have in play, which is where you place attacks when they perform till they resolve, blocks till they resolve, tactics till they resolve, and any cards that stay in play. And then side, you just have your arsenal, which is your deck, and your exhaust, which is your discard pile.
So exhaust means like something like a graveyard?
Yes.
Okay, and then arsenal is like similar
deck.
to Flesh and Blood, that you can just store it first and then you can use it in the
No,
next
it's
turn.
your deck.
Oh, it's your deck, arsenal. Okay.
Yes.
So that's your where you get your power or action cards. All right. And how many players can play this game?
At the moment, it's 2, but we're toying around with ideas for tag team matches.
So it's a 1v1.
Yes.
And the average time of the gameplay?
Really depends on who you're fighting, because Elatono heals a lot, so you can make games drag out, but generally between 15 and 20 minutes for one game, so about 45 for a full
So
match.
is this something that a new gamer, a new TCG player comes in, and can he learn this easily, or he should have a background?
Extremely easily. We've had
Nice.
teaching a very easy time teaching people that are completely new to TCGs or new to these types of games. They're usually just played Magic types.
Uh-huh. And then when you play your cards, do you have maximum cards in your hand?
At the start of each turn, you scry 4 to use magic terms, and then you draw cards. So so your hand has 4 cards in it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you decide to initiate combat, your opponent draws cards, so they have 4. And this goes back and forth at the start of each turn. So
Mm-hmm.
every turn it's draw up to 4.
Oh,
So
okay.
whenever the combat starts, both players will have 4 cards in their hand, unless some effect alters that.
Mm-hmm. And how do you kill? Okay, how many ways to destroy the enemy? Is it because some other games you have to destroy the deck, um, the the character itself, and also there's some that I've known that there are ailments. That's a different TCG. But for you, what is um, the way to destroy an enemy?
It's a life deck game. So your attacks deal damage by making your opponent's arsenal go to their exhaust. When they run out of cards, you win. And it's the moment, so effects that resolve, we're still toying with that because there's no effects that work like that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be that the moment you have no cards in your deck, your opponent has no cards in their deck, their arsenal, you win.
So it's so simple. So it make the deck 0, then you win.
Yeah, the
Nice.
game is designed to be streamlined.
Okay, that's good. And then maybe we can have a game. I'm not sure if you have a TTS here. Do you have
No,
a not yet?
no.
Or are you planning to have like that soon? A game in the TTS?
I mostly just use Untap, but we
Uh,
only playtest in real life.
but do you have Untap now?
Yeah, but nothing's up there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, as I said,
So
we playtest in real life only because it's a very different feel to
yeah,
digital playing.
yeah, you like it more on the physical card. All right.
Yeah.
Because some games have their own TTS, even other games have their own app to play. Yeah. Okay, so that's good. And then let's go to the product expansion set. So how do you have a timeline, a roadmap of how do you plan for the expansion sets in the next 3 years or 2 years?
So the big thing is keeping the game sustainable and affordable until there's a distribution model. We've actually, so for anyone that doesn't know, Hyper Juken Alpha Block Set 1
Mm-hmm.
is a set of 3 decks sold at $75 Australian. For that, you get 69 foils, 60 of those are full art. All cards are a play set. It's not an expensive game by any stretch, but this is mostly done to make sure everything is, the game's not going to go away suddenly because there's no money to finance it. The game is basically set up for currently, we're at the end of designing set 4 and 5. Well, I should say playtesting. Set 6 is in design. 7 through 9 are in pre-production. We've got like 9 years worth of ideas.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Until distribution happens, we mostly just want to keep it as these sets of decks because it's just going to be easier on consumers, our manufacturing and production, and it'll just keep everything at a level that it means that no one's going to be put in a position where they can't get anything or it can't be produced, and no one's left up the creek.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone who's worried about collectability, if you go look at older Yu-Gi-Oh structure decks, because they're out of print, these will have very low print runs anyway. Because
Yeah.
I've said this on my YouTube, not YouTube, on the website recently, that we want to keep stock low so we're not inundated with stock after it's sent out. Because while things are starting out, we don't have the finances to have a warehouse for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being kept. So a lot of this stuff, because of the low print run, will likely end up collectible that way.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we are putting first edition sets on the first printings That's not on any of the previews, but it's been something that's been suggested a few times, and we're going to go ahead with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So now I want to like know more about the sets that are already out in the market. So you said there's an alpha. Are these the ones in starter deck?
A1, the first block is called Alpha. That's the first 3 sets.
Is it a
They're
booster box or just a deck?
just decks.
Mm-hmm.
Booster packs can't happen due to finances.
Okay, so starter decks, and then the next plan will be another starter decks or
Yeah,
booster boxes.
it'll be decks pretty much until it's bringing in enough money to finance booster boxes. Though saying that, we have had a very positive reception to the idea of it just being a deck. So maybe this has been discussed behind the scenes a bit. Taking that opportunity to, instead of compete with other games as TCGs,
Mm-hmm.
compete with products such as Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure decks, go into that marketplace.
Uh-huh.
Because, as I said, the low price point, even you mentioned this in your email to me, the low price point itself is appealing.
Yeah.
And there's, if you've actually paid attention to Yu-Gi-Oh! Attendance, you'll see especially a lot of kids play with decks that are just 3 structure decks thrown together. So having that low price point is appealing to a younger demographic, probably their parents as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm.
So well, it will start at that level for like kids, and then you go to for the collectors and investors as well because you want to expand your TCG. So now you have starter decks, and you said $75, right? For the
Yeah,
three
yes.
decks. That is a good price point. So um and then you said you have holo cards. So are these the ones with selective foiling or just the full holo,
Just full hollow at the
like
moment.
rainbow foil?
It's just a foil treatment at the moment. We are working on seeing if we can get promos done in different ways. Promos probably will be the more collective focused thing for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I should mention is that for the Kickstarter, everyone will get their selection of one of 3 full art card cards, but instead of being full, the text is stamped.
Stamped.
And yeah,
Stamped, like engraved in there? You like oh, like that. Okay, so there's like
yeah,
a label.
yeah.
Okay,
But
it's a
not only
silver?
that, the
Is it a
actual
silver?
card text
I can see if it's a silver
is
or gold or something.
gold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
thinking about silver because it interrupts with some of the colors a bit. You have
Yeah.
to move it in certain directions.
So
But
it's a full art, right?
yes,
And what will be the rarities of that?
the full art card cards with the stamping will just be promos, and they'll be basically made to order. People that order 3 or more sets because they might want every single constructed deck as well as stock deck available. Instead of just saying thank you as a
Mm-hmm.
stamping, it'll also be personalized to that person.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm.
We want to make it really personalized because it does mean a lot to us. Anyone that's going to invest that much into it.
Okay. So in the Kickstarter, you have this you're doing a Kickstarter, right?
Yes,
And
it goes up next week.
oh yeah, I've seen it on the website. It's August 2022.
Yeah.
And then so what are the freebie not freebies, the stretch goals for the Kickstarter?
Well, the stretch goals are mostly just tied to things like getting set 2 funded, breaking past minimum order quantity for the decks. But we're looking to produce a limited edition 100 copies of a mat with exclusive art to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly just what we can afford to produce at this point.
Oh, okay.
As I said, a very low key things. with the way things are in regarding to our costs and whatnot, we're not trying to set the world on fire here. We're just trying to make a really solid product people can enjoy.
Yeah. And then you said you have, so you have the decks. Where did you print the alpha sets, and what are your plan for the future sets, and where do you print it? Are you printing it locally or in China or whatever, or
I had
wherever
a
country?
factory recommended to me in China by a friend who works in the industry.
So for now, the alpha sets was in China, and then the next sets will be the same
Yes.
location. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we want offset printing because it's higher quality. We only do
Yeah.
digitally locally, and we've had problems with blues in particular. Plus, the cost of China is a lot lower.
Oh, yeah. And then, but how do you solve this? Because there are a lot of trading card games that had delays now. I'm not sure if your game will be affected in this, but have you thought of something to make it on time? Because you know, they promised us like June, August, and then they move it to until 3 months. So how do you cope up with this one?
Okay, so Alpha One's already ready to go. The printers already lined up. They've been
Hmm.
so for very, very patient with me, and they've been helping me with die lines for boxes and whatnot. I've basically got the timelines from them. It should be by the end of the year. I don't really want to pin down a month because we don't know what will happen. But as soon as the Kickstarter's over, it's getting straight onto the factory,
Hmm.
giving them all the files, paying for it. Then I think it's 15 days for it to be manufactured, and then it's waiting for it to come down, and then ship it straight off to everyone that purchased it.
Okay, that's at least it's almost ready to go. So
Yeah,
and
as I said, day of.
yeah, nice. So that means it's everything, the artwork, all the I'm not sure if it's the right process, but you will send them like a panel of all the cards, right? And then like,
No, I send them all the PDFs.
oh, the PDFs, and then they will do some in the panels. So are
Yes.
they're ready? Okay, that's good. Then do you have any NFTs? Are you planning to do that, or
No.
not in your not planning to do that? Okay, that's
Truth
because
be told, I don't even really understand it.
yeah, I understand. Yeah. So and then are you doing this full time, this TCG, or you have um other job, a daily day job?
I've been unemployed for a bit now because of a mix of COVID and helping
Mm-hmm.
being a carer. So it's been off and on between being a carer. It's going to be able to take up my full time now because that's coming to a close.
Mm.
Because the person I was looking after is a family member is basically up on their feet now, and yeah, it's pretty much able to be the full job so long as the money's there to uh, live off it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, yeah, it's gonna have to take a back seat. But we're pretty good with getting everything in order and a reasonable pace. Artists really good with me. Playtesting's really good. Get everything done in a reasonable time. I don't know if other creators have told you this, but in a lot of ways, each set gets easier to playtest because you understand what to look for that's going to be a problem even
Mm-hmm.
before you print it out to test. So, yeah, it can become a full-time thing, but it's really going to depend on how well it does. I've said this on the website, but a lot of how well I can support Hyper Juken, because I'd love to support anyone that wants to help it grow with tournaments and whatnot.
Yeah.
A lot of it hinders hedges on the game selling more than 2,000 units per set.
Mm-hmm. So you're totally now dependent on the Kickstarter outcome, right? To produce your your
Yeah,
game?
I paid the entirety for the artwork, and that was basically, uh, I should say, I've also paid for set two's artwork, so
Mm-hmm.
that's nearly ready to go as well.
Okay.
But it'd have a 4 month gap because you got to get the releases separate. But yeah, the Kickstarter will basically, if the Kickstarter goes sideways for whatever reason,
Yeah.
it probably would still come out, but it won't be till midway through next year and end of next year.
So you have a
Because
plan
it'd
B.
be a case of me having to finance it.
Yeah. So plan B, if in case Kickstarter doesn't work, then you will go to this. You can still print and sell it on your website, right?
Yeah, but it'd be quite a considerable delay.
Uh-huh. And then do you have like play testers?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell us about the team that you have right now? So do you have a team like you and under your umbrella?
At the moment, I'm doing card design, character design, and art direction. What I basically do is I give a lot of the art, character design, and posing to the artist, and she fixes it up for me.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely, lovely woman, been very patient with me because she's never done cards before, and she's an ex-animator in the Philippines.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm.
And we've basically been working together to figure this out. I'll say I think set two's turned out a lot better than set one in
Mm-hmm.
this regard. My original main playtester, we had problems because Kate lost faith in the project uh, ages ago for personal reasons, and I had to find a new main playtester. I've got him. I've got a couple of other minor playtesters. It basically becomes a matter of who wants to main who for the set, and then rotating what matchup, so we learn what goes where. And yeah, that's about it really. As I said, very, very small.
Okay. So do you have someone that checks with the art because it might be infringing other artwork, copying other artwork? Because I don't know if you know this TCG that has a story about copying arts, but what are your thoughts about doing to avoid this kind of problem?
Well, all the character design is my own.
Okay.
So I work on that personally. They are inspirations from real life things, of course, because you're going to be inspired by everything else. But being unique in its own entity is a very important uh, thing to me, because I want each character to be its own thing. As far as posing, that's more towards you can only do so much with the human body, and certain moves, it doesn't matter how you depict them, it's going to look very similar. But we try to, one thing I do tell the artist a lot is, once I noticed that when she started changing up certain references and it turned out really well, I always tell her, change it up if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of the posing is just basic human stuff. It's nothing that can be copied. The character design, yeah, Tai Chi's just in a gi. There's going to be a ton of characters just in a gi. But trying to be unique with the, take inspiration, but also have it be its own entity is important to us. Like, I don't think many people have really picked up on Lucy's inspirations.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've only come across one person that's specifically picked it out, but the character design itself, very, very different to her inspirations,
Uh-huh.
because the only thing that's actually referencing is the color scheme.
So this artist is a full-time artist, right? For you right
She,
now,
she's a freelance artist. We're
a
just going,
freelance.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, so let's go to the distribution. How will you distribute your products? Because for now you're selling it on online. Are you selling it on other platforms?
Not for the moment, no.
Uh-huh. So you're setting up a website. So the next, for example, if the Kickstarter will be successful and you will have the next sets, what is your distribution structure?
At the moment, it's just selling it on the website. As soon as we get an order in, ship it off.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we get up to a level that it's deemed that enough people are buying it and the production runs by ourselves are getting a bit much, that's when we'll be getting in contact with distributors and trying to make a pitch meeting with them. I actually have a distributor not too far from me for Australia, but international ones, it'll be a bit harder. But that's when we'll try to get there. It again, a lot depends on how high the print runs are going before certain things can move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is just baby steps, baby steps.
So you will start in Australia with the
Yeah,
distribution, and then
yeah.
expand to whatever place that is um
Will take us
catering.
on.
Yeah, you're catering. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good about that. And then is there a possibility that a certain I always ask this to the some
Yeah,
TCG creators, that if there's a possibility of a content creator to be a retailer of your products, like if you know Alpha Investments, something like that,
yeah, Rudy.
for yeah, for Magic. So are you planning to go to this route, or just you just want to be in the distribution like distributors, LGS, and consumers?
At the moment, I think getting it into stores is more beneficial. I don't really see
Mm-hmm.
much of a difference between us selling it and, say, Rudy selling it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather get into stores because if we can get into a production run where we can get into stores, what I'd like to do is break up what the sets are at the moment, a set of 3 decks, into a single deck so you can just pick which characters you like. Because I think most people are just going to buy all 3 anyway. But I think that, again, costs are the big issue here. It's more cost effective for me right now to produce the sets of 3 than individual decks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's how I'd want to go with that. Uh, the website covers starting up, including international. Then when distribution happens, that's where I wanted to get into stores.
Yeah, the most difficult thing is to convince distributors
Oh
to
yes,
distribute, right?
yeah,
It's like chicken
yeah,
and egg. You
yeah,
can't tell them to distribute if you're not well known. And it's
yeah.
difficult to be well known if you have no distributors. So how do you solve that with Hyper Juken?
Well, that's I used to be a YouTuber myself. I used to have a channel, Some Gamer Dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using all the things I've learned over there to basically become the premier Hyper Juken YouTuber on the main channel.
Yeah.
So producing content for it there. Any YouTuber, I might as well ask now, would you like some previews to, to show on your channel?
Me? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah, I'll
Of
give you 3
course.
afterwards. I've got 6 cards left over. I can give out, so I can give you 3 there. Any YouTubers such as yourself, Foyo Games, who's a good friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
I'm more than happy to work with them to try to help get that word out there. And as I said, as that word builds, sales should improve, and then it becomes a matter of we have these sales. If people want to organise tournaments, and I can help with that, we have these attendances for tournaments. This is our pitch. Do you want to carry it?
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a store where I'm pretty good friends with the owner locally, who broke the hard news to me about how hard distribution is, and he straight up said to me, without that distribution, he's not really interested in carrying it, despite knowing me personally and trusting me. It's just there's no safety net should it not move, and it's like, yeah, well, we're going to reconfigure things to help it have a solid foundation first.
Yeah. What I believe is that you have to concentrate on marketing,
Yeah,
more on marketing, and yeah, because once marketing is there, then distributors will see it as wow, this is popular or something, because you need to have popularity of your game,
mm,
and that is because of marketing, right? And
yeah,
yeah, you connecting with Foyo, Foyo, I've known Foyo for quite a long time. I think for the first few months of my YouTube, he's always there,
You too, huh?
commenting on my on
Yeah,
my YouTube. So yeah, and then that's a good start. Then maybe more interviews like this
yeah.
to other YouTubers. Yeah, and I can also help you or send you some of the YouTubers that maybe can help you with that. Um, yeah, and it's good to know that you started the game with the gameplay already. It's like
Yeah.
it's ready. You know, some Kickstarters doesn't have any gameplay yet, so they just create cards and whatever they think that is good. But for me, is if it's playable already and ready to go, then it's good, right?
I don't know if you'd be interested, but we do have a print and play demo on the website.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is
So
that
if anyone's,
oh,
um,
sorry, go ahead.
so if you or anyone's interested in just printing it, it's just an engine test to see how it
Yep.
plays out. It's not the full game, but anyone that's happy to try it out, I'd rather anyone that interested in the game print it out, try it out before investing money.
Of course. Yeah, I suggest, by the way, you just remind me, um, in your website, just suggest that you have like a beginner's page there where each beginner can just go through with that and including your print and play, right?
Yeah,
So so that they have like a roadmap where to go in your website. Yeah, because for now it's somewhere you need to find it. So at
yeah,
least you have
it's stuck in the how to play section.
yeah, because for you, you know everything there. But for the beginners, like once I visit there, then I know, oh, for the beginners,
Yeah,
I'll
I've been
go here
planning to redesign the website
next.
anyway a bit.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just my suggestion
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I appreciate it.
And then so you have social media now. I think you have
Yep,
Discord,
yep.
Instagram. Do you have Instagram?
We do now. Yep,
Nice.
got everything.
Yeah, Twitter, something. Okay. Can you can you invite our viewers right now on your game and also your channels?
Yeah,
Yeah.
anyone that if you look on the Hyper Juken official YouTube channel, you'll find a video called Social Media. The Discord is in the description there. If you look at any of the more recent non-preview videos, it'll have all the socials in every single video description, so you can find everything there. If you want to join up, I'm more than happy to talk to anyone about anything.
Mhm.
Um, Anything you want to ask, I'm more than happy to. Just remember, time might be a problem due to time zones, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can. It's not very active at the moment because I don't think many people have much to talk about. But anyone that's happy to start a conversation, I'm all for it. I'd love to talk more.
Yeah, and I will put it in the links. And also, maybe do you have a channel on the print and play there in your Discord? Have you
Uh,
created one? Not yet. So maybe you can put something print and play where they can click on the link and they can print and play and then they can ask questions about the game. Yeah, that would be also good.
okay, I'll do that as soon as I get off.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, and I guess that's all my questions for now. And I'm sure that we're gonna be talking about the Kickstarter next time and also gameplay. Maybe you have the physical card and we can play on camera. Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope.
I actually just got printed up digital print decks of all of A1. Came in
Oh,
yesterday.
oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. And
because I wanted to do just that.
mhm. So thank you so much, Eric, for your time. And then everything you've talked about the channels, I'll put it in the links below.
Thanks, Ben, and
All right.
thanks for having me on.
All right. Okay, guys, don't forget to check Hyper Juken and everything in the description and on Discord as well and join the community. Then thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Bye. Bye, Eric.
Bye.